So good day, ma'am, and hi, classmates. Here in my presentation, I am going to discuss about feedback methods and what are those. So as we all know that feedback are ways for giving and receiving feedback. So the word feedback is used to describe information or constructive criticism regarding a person's actions or behaviors. So the first one is questionnaires gather data such as opinions and views that can also be gathered through interviews. The main advantage of questionnaires is the possibility to use a very large informant population, or shall we say in population that is too large to observe directly. So there are actually two kinds of questionnaires, and the first one is the closed questionnaire. Here the informant replies to the question by taking boxes or by marking a scale. So this kind of questionnaire can only be answered by selecting from a limited number of options. For example, yes or no, as you can see on the picture on the right side of the screen. And can be a rating scale or an MCQ. So the second one is an open questionnaire. So here the informant replies in his or her own words. So this type of questionnaire can be subjective. So here it can be broad and can be answered in detail. But before administering the actual questionnaire, it is useful to run it through the following process. So the first one is consider all possible issues that you're questioning you should cover. That means questions should be relatable, clear questions, or clear problem. The next one is write a draft. Next is eliminate questions that are not addressed the questionnaires purpose. Group the questions too thematically to spot overlaps. So in a way that it is related to the subject or in a correct order also. Map the questionnaire and administer it to a small group of target respondents for feedback. And rewrite the questionnaire. So rewrite the questionnaire, it may be because you can review it or you can check it over and over again. So next is always avoid double-barreled questions. So here it says that question that asked about two different issues. So let's say for example, you are asking about history and culture, so it won't focus on one. So you should avoid using double-barreled questions. Unclear instructions. Next is the questions that do not apply to the respondent. Next is the questions that rely on memory. Next is hypothetical questions. Can be based on possible ideas or situation rather than actual ones. And biased questions. Questions that is phrased or expressed in such a way that it influences the respondent's opinions. Another one is the checklist. So checklists are a way of determining whether our procedures have been gone through, whether all necessary features are present, or etc. Can literally be a list of boxes to be checked and can be used in test design to make sure nothing has been forgotten, and it is proven to be useful when comparing the test outcomes to the developer's predictions. So an example here is this one. So it can be an evaluation form also. Another feedback methods we have here is the interviews. They are a flexible way of gathering data. There are various kinds of interview depending on the structure and the number of informants interviewed at the same time. We have here 5 different structures of interviews. So the first one is the unstructured. There is no fixed schedule, but rather a number of themes that are to be addressed. So this kind of interview questions are not prearranged. So it can dive into deeper discussions and mostly improvise relevant interview questions. The next one is the semi-structured. The researcher follows a preset schedule, but it is possible to deviate from this when interesting issues arise. So it doesn't strictly follow a formalized list of questions. So this semi-structured it is possible for open-ended questions. So the next one is the structured. The interview goes up through a fixed series of questions without deviating. So this type of interview closely resembles a questionnaire. So in this type of interview, it can easily be compared to multiple job candidates, and it makes use of standardized sequence of questioning. And responses can be easily placed in similar categories. So there is a structured kay. Na naman dyan siya standard na question. So the fourth one is the one-on-one. So this kind of interview allows the researcher to zoom in on the views of individual respondents. And the group, so the advantage of interviewing larger numbers at once is that group interactions might spark observation that would gone unnoticed. So the opportunity to screen a number of candidates at one time. So that ends my report. Thank you, and I hope you learned something from my presentation today. And God bless everyone. Bye.